everybody. I Anita Kumari, Assistant Professor in the Department of Political Science, and today I'll be giving you an overview about the subject Indian Administration for the second year Political Science. Today we are diving into an interesting and insightful topic, the evolving administrative system of Tamil Nadu. Welcome to Unit 1, where we will be exploring the administrative system in Tamil Nadu through history from the ancient times up to the British period. By the end of this unit, we aim to achieve several important objectives. Firstly, we will examine the nature of administrative system in ancient Tamil Nadu. This includes understanding how governance was structured in early Tamil society and the roles played by various institutions and local communities. Secondly, we will explore the Tamil Nadu's administration during the British period. This objective focuses on the transformations introduced by the British colonial rule and how these changes impacted the structure and functioning of administration in the region. Thirdly, we will identify and analyze the salient features of Tamil Nadu's administration over time. This includes tracing elements that have persisted across different periods, as well as those that evolved or were newly introduced under colonial influence. And finally, we will build a foundation for understanding how historical administrative practices have influenced modern governance in Tamil Nadu. This objective sets the stage for deeper studies on how past systems have shaped the state's current administrative structures and practices. Through these objectives, we will develop a comprehensive understanding of Tamil Nadu's administrative legacy, preparing us to appreciate the complexities of governance in the region. Now let's begin our journey into the administrative history of Tamil Nadu. As we all know that Tamil Nadu is one of India's most culturally vibrant and historically rich states. With its ancient traditions and rich heritage, Tamil Nadu has developed a unique administrative journey that stands out in the annals of Indian history. From the early days of regional kingdoms through the era of British colonial rule to the democratic setup of today, Tamil Nadu's administrative system has continuously adapted and evolved. This progression is not just a story of changes in governance structures. It reflects the resilience, the adaptability, and the vision of its people. Each period of change has left its mark, shaping the policies, systems, and governance strategies that we see today. In this unit, we will explore some of the key transformations that have taken place over the centuries, from the influence of ancient texts like Kautilya's Arthashastras and Thiruvalluvar's Thirukural to the administrative practices introduced under British rule. We will also look at how these legacies have influenced today's public administration and examine the current systems in place that ensure governance at every level from the state to the local government. Our aim is to understand not only the history of Tamil Nadu's administrative system, but also the underlying principles that have allowed it to serve its people effectively over generations. So let's get ready to embark on a journey through time, exploring how Tamil Nadu's administration has responded to historical changes and how these transformations continue to impact governance today. Let's now explore the early roots of administration in Tamil Nadu and how the unique systems of governance has evolved in ancient times. Firstly, in the olden times, we had village governance. In ancient Tamil Nadu, a strong tradition of decentralized governance existed. Villages managed their own affairs through a local system with elected leaders, often referred to as headmen or panchayats. These councils handled everything from justice and law to local resource management, laying a foundation for the community-based governance that has influenced administrative practices across centuries. Next, let's talk about regional kingdoms. Tamil Nadu has home to powerful dynasties like the Cholas, Pandyas, and the Pallavas. These kingdoms weren't just known for the military prowess and art, they were also developed sophisticated administrative frameworks to govern their territories effectively. Each kingdom had a structured hierarchy with officials responsible for everything from revenue collection to law enforcement and public works. The Chola dynasty, for example, had an advanced administrative system with records that documented tax collection, irrigation projects, and village grants, showing a well-organized approach to governance. And lastly, we see a unique feature of Tamil Nadu's history in temple-based administration. In ancient times, temples served as more than just places of worship. They were hubs of education, commerce, and social welfare. Many temples managed large tracts of lands, collected taxes, and even provided loans to farmers and merchants. Temples also funded schools and hospitals, and their priests and administrators were significant influencers in both local and regional governance. This integration of spirituality and with administration created a unique model that helped sustain Tamil Nadu's socio-economic framework. These three pillars, village governance, regional kingdoms, and temple-based administration, formed the backbone of Tamil Nadu's early administrative practices. Each of these elements contributed to a well-rounded governance system that was not only hierarchical but also community-oriented and culturally integrated. Understanding these origins gives us valuable insights into how the administrative values of decentralization, community welfare, and structured governance evolved over time and continue to shape modern Tamil Nadu's governance today. Now, moving on to the next topic in our unit, let's take a closer look at some key features that define the ancient administrative system of Tamil Nadu. The system was notable for its sophisticated and far forward-thinking structure, even by today's standards. First, we have had decentralized governance. Ancient Tamil Nadu was known for its high degree of decentralization. Local communities were empowered and had significant autonomy in decision-making processes. This allowed villages to govern themselves with a fair level of independence, managing local resources and resolving issues within the community. This local engagement created a sense of ownership and accountability that strengthened governance and community cohesion. And the next up is efficient tax collection. The regional kingdoms, particularly under the Cholas, had developed an advanced tax collection system. This system ensured a steady and organized flow of resources to the administration. Taxes were collected from agriculture, trade, and sometimes even land grants, and these resources were then used to support the kingdom's activities, from public works to military expenditures. The efficiency of this system was essential in maintaining a stable administration. Another feature, the most important feature, was the judicial system. Ancient Tamil Nadu had a well-structured judicial system that allowed people to seek justice through specialized courts. These courts had a hierarchy, allowing for appeals and creating a system of accountability. This structure helped in resolving disputes and maintaining law and order. This presence of a formal judicial system shows that the administration valued legal order and justice for its citizens, a concept that resonates with modern governance principles as well. Lastly, infrastructure development played a crucial role. The kingdoms of Tamil Nadu invested in extensive public works that supported both the economy and the administration. They built irrigation systems like tanks and canals that supported agriculture, roads that improved trade and connectivity, and fortification as well that protected the territory. Such infrastructure not only enhanced the prosperity of the region but also strengthened the administration's control over its domains. These key features, decentralized governance, efficient tax systems, and a formal judicial setup, and strong infrastructure development were foundational elements of ancient Tamil Nadu's administration. They reflect a vision for an organized, self-sustaining society, values that continue to influence modern administrative practices in the region. Understanding these principles gives us insight into how ancient Tamil Nadu has managed to create a well-functioning, inclusive, and resilient administrative system. Moving on to another topic in the first unit again, we'll be exploring now the emergence of early southern Indian kingdoms and the unique administrative systems. We will look closely at these three significant dynasties, the Cholas, the Pandyas, and the Pallavas, and understand how each developed distinct ways to govern their territories and influence the society around them. Let's begin with the Chola dynasty. Known for its naval dominance, the Chola dynasty rose to power through maritime strength, expanding its influence across Southeast Asia. To manage this extensive empire, the Cholas developed a highly centralized administration. They placed great emphasis on efficient revenue collection to fund their strong military forces, which included both land armies and naval fleets. Local officials were responsible for gathering taxes from the people, ensuring a steady flow of resources to support the dynasty's ambition and the welfare of its people. Moving on to the Pandya dynasty, the Pandyas were equally influential, but their administrative approach was somewhat different. This kingdom is especially renowned for its patronage of the arts, literature, and religious institutions. The Pandya administration closely integrated temples and cultural centers into the governance structure. Temples often served as hubs of economic activity, with lands and wealth dedicated to their upkeep. The Pandyas thus not only fostered cultural development but also maintained stability through these institutions, blending spirituality with governance. Finally, the Pallava dynasty. The Pallavas are celebrated for their achievements in architecture, especially seen in iconic sites like Mahabalipuram. They developed a well-organized administration with a strong focus on urban planning and infrastructure. Roads, temples, and cities were carefully planned, reflecting their emphasis on long-term growth and stability. This structured approach to city building and administration allowed the Pallava dynasty to maintain order and support the economic and cultural life of their people. In summary, we can say that each of these dynasties, Chola, Pandya, and the Pallavas, had developed distinct administrative systems tailored to their unique strengths. From the Cholas' centralized governance and military focus to the Pandyas' integration of religion and culture. To the Pallavas' emphasis on urban planning, each left a lasting legacy on the Indian subcontinent. It emphasizes the unique administrative characteristics of each dynasty to help students grasp the diversity of everyone's approaches in early South Indian history. Moving on to another topic, let's explore the fascinating role of temples in the administration as I just discussed before. A time when temples weren't just religious sites but played multiple roles that supported and influenced society. Firstly, the temples in ancient Tamil Nadu served as religious and cultural hubs. These were spaces where people gathered for festivals, rituals, and community events, which helped foster a shared cultural identity by uniting people through religion and cultural practices. Temples played a vital role in shaping the social and administrative fabric of the region. Moving on, temples were also significant from the economic point of view as well. Many temples owned vast tracts of land and resources, often donated by the kings, local rulers, and wealthy citizens. The economic power enabled temples to support the administrative system by collecting and managing taxes, as well as distributing resources within the community. In this way, temples acted as major economic institutions influencing trade, agriculture, and resource management. Furthermore, temples often housed educational institutions as well, sometimes referred to as Kudil Palikondas, These temple schools educated scholars, administrators, and religious leaders, creating a space for intellectual growth and development. This role of temple as educational hubs contributed significantly to the social development and advancement of Tamil Nadu, as they helped cultivate knowledgeable individuals who served the region in various capacities. Lastly, temples were crucial for social welfare as well. Beyond their religious duties, temples provided services such as healthcare, relief during disasters, and support for the underprivileged communities. By offering such services, temples strengthened their administrative influence and became pillars of social support. Overall, temples in ancient Tamil Nadu were far more than places of worship. They were integral to the region's administration, economy, education, and social welfare. They played a multifaceted role that helped shape a well-organized and resilient society. Moving on to the next, let's look at how British rule had led to the centralization of administration in Tamil Nadu, profoundly changing the traditional systems in place. Firstly, let's discuss the consolidation of power. The British gradually took control over the decentralized systems that previously characterized the Tamil Nadu's administration. They imposed a more centralized and hierarchical structure aimed at streamlining governance and ensuring tighter control. This shift marked a transition from a localized system to a highly regulated and unified administrative structure, where the British authorities made most of the major decisions from top down. Moving on to bureaucratic reforms, the British introduced a range of administrative changes. They established district administrations and expanded the civil services to improve governance. This brought efficiency but also embedded a foreign model of bureaucracy that emphasized formal processes and documentation. These reforms were designed to serve British interests, but they also laid the groundwork for the modern civil services we have today. They have required skilled personnel and created new administrative positions. The third significant change was the implementation of the zamindari system. Under this system, the local landlords or zamindars were granted substantial powers, particularly over revenue collection. This system shifted the power dynamics as these landlords acted as intermediaries between the British administration and the local people, often exerting a lot of influence over their region. The zamindari system was advantageous to the British as it simplified tax collection for them, but it also led to the exploitation and economic distress for many farmers who now had to answer to both the landlords and the colonial government. In conclusion, we can say that the British influence on Tamil Nadu's administration has brought centralized control, rigid bureaucratic reforms, and a shift in local power structures. These changes were instrumental in shaping the administrative system we see in Tamil Nadu and India today particularly, though they also have introduced many challenges and disparities. Moving on to the next, we'll be discussing now the salient features of British administration in Tamil Nadu, which had a profound impact on the region's governance and development. Let's begin with the codification of laws. The British established a formal judicial structure and introduced a comprehensive legal system. The codification of laws was significant because it laid down standardized regulations that applied uniformly. Unlike the earlier localized customs, the establishment of British courts and the codification of civil and criminal laws contributed to the modernization of the judiciary, setting the foundation for India's current legal system. Moving on to the educational reforms, the British set up a network of schools and colleges in Tamil Nadu. They promoted Western-style education, which emphasized English language and subjects like science and mathematics, as opposed to traditional learning. This system aimed to create an educated class that could assist in administration, but it also introduced new ideas and values which later became instrumental in the independence movement. British educational reforms marked a shift towards a more structured educational systems and foster social mobility among those who gain access to this education. Infrastructure development was another area where British administration made significant investments. They built extensive transportation systems, including railways, roads, and ports, to facilitate the movement of goods and resources. Communication networks and irrigation projects also received attention, which spurred economic growth. Though initially developed to serve British economic interest, this infrastructure laid the groundwork for Tamil Nadu's modernization and integration into the global economy. Finally, revenue administration was a crucial aspect of British rule. They implemented efficient systems of revenue collection, including land settlements and tax policies. These measures were designed to ensure a steady flow of resources to the colonial administration. However, these policies also imposed financial burdens on the local population, particularly the agrarian community. This structured taxation system influenced the development of a formal economy, but it also brought economic challenges for many people. In summary, we can say that the British administration introduced major reforms that has transformed Tamil Nadu's legal, educational, infrastructural, and revenue systems. While these changes brought modernization, they have also served colonial interest and had complex impacts on the society. Moving up next, we'll be now discussing about the Jamindari system and its impact on Tamil Nadu economic revenue system, a system that profoundly shaped the region's social and economic structure. The Zamindari system was introduced by the British as a way to efficiently manage land ownership and revenue collection. Under the system, the British granted authority to local landlords, known as zamindars, who were given control over large tracts of land. These zamindars had the power to collect taxes and manage resources within their assigned areas. Essentially, the British used these local power holders as intermediaries, which helped them maintain control over the region and ensure a steady flow of revenue to fund their administration. However, the impact on Tamil Nadu was significant and not entirely positive. One major effect of the Zamindari system was that it concentrated power in the hands of only few individuals, the zamindars. This reduced the autonomy of local communities, who now had little say in the management of their own land and resources. The traditional village level administration, which had been an integral part of Tamil Nadu's governance structure, was gradually undermined, and the role of local institutions in decision making processes also get diminished. Furthermore, the system had contributed to social inequalities by creating a class divide. A small powerful class of landowners or a landed gentry emerged, while smaller farmers and tenant laborers became increasingly marginalized. These farmers often faced high taxes and exploitative practices from the jamindars, which led to severe economic hardships. Many of them struggled to sustain their livelihoods, and this had created a cycle of debt and poverty that persisted for generations. The long-lasting effects of the zamindari system were evident in the socio-economic structure of Tamil Nadu. Not only did it contribute to the widening the gap between the rich and the poor, but it also has disrupted traditional community-based management systems that had been in place for a century. In summary, we can say that while the British had intended the Jamindari system to streamline revenue collection and strengthen their control, its consequences were far-reaching. It transformed Tamil Nadu's rural society, centralizing power with zamindars and contributing to the marginalization of small farmers. which have enduring implications on the region's development. Up next, we will explore the rise of local self-government institutions, Panchayati Raj institutions that we say, during British rule in Tamil Nadu, a development that laid the foundation for more inclusive and decentralized governance. Under the British rule, we saw the emergence of village panchayats. This was a critical reform because it established a structure for local communities at the village level to engage in governance. For the first time, the local people had a formal platform to participate in decision-making processes and address their community's concerns. Village panchayats played a role in managing local resources, resolving conflicts, and ensuring that community needs were communicated to the authorities. This system empowered the villagers to have a voice in governance even though it was still under British supervision. Moving to the urban areas, the British had introduced municipal councils and municipal corporations. These councils were responsible for managing civic affairs such as infrastructure development, sanitation, and public service delivery in towns and cities. The municipal corporations and councils provided urban residents with a degree of control over their environment and were empowered to make decisions to improve living conditions within cities. Responsibilities included maintaining roads, public health, education, and street lighting. By involving the local population in managing these affairs, the British set the stage for modern urban governance. Another key institution was the Jila Parishad or the district boards. These parishads or boards operated at a regional level or at a district level, covering multiple villages and towns within a district. District boards were responsible for overseeing larger administrative tasks such as regional infrastructure, healthcare facilities, and educational institutions. This setup represented a more decentralized approach to governance as it allowed decisions to be made closer to the communities they impacted, rather than close solely at the central or provincial level. Together, these local self-government institutions, the village panchayat, the municipal corporations, and the Jila Parishads, were pivotal in giving Indian citizens an opportunity to engage in their own governance, even if their powers were limited under British rule. They also helped to build a foundation for democratic governance in post-independence India. These institutions had demonstrated the importance of decentralized administration and planted the seeds for a governance system where communities could advocate for their needs. In summary, through the establishment of these local bodies, the British administration in Tamil Nadu had began a process of decentralization that would later evolve into the modern self-governance structures as we see today. Up next, we will be talking about the modernization of Tamil Nadu's administrative history after India's independence, a journey marked by significant reforms, decentralization, and technological advancements. First, let's talk about the administrative reforms since independence. Tamil Nadu has focused on transforming its governance structure to better serve the needs of its citizens. One of the major steps in this transformation was the reorganization of districts, which helped streamlining administration and bring government services closer to the people. Alongside this, Tamil Nadu has continued to strengthen local self-government institutions such as the panchayats, municipal corporations to enhance local decision-making. These reforms were aimed at creating an efficient and responsible administrative system that could keep up with the needs of the growing population. Decentralization and empowerment have been other core pillars of modernization. Tamil Nadu's government has made efforts to decentralize power and give local communities a greater voice in governance. This approach has been particularly important in improving service delivery, as it allows for decisions to be made closer to where the issues are occurring. By empowering local bodies, the government encourages citizen engagement, giving people a direct role in shaping their communities. This has actually helped to build a trust between the citizens and the government and has enabled quicker responses to local challenges. Now, finally, technological advancements have become a cornerstone of Tamil Nadu's administrative modernization. Over the past few decades, Tamil Nadu has adopted a range of e-governance tools to make services more accessible, efficient, and transparent. For instance, the state has implemented digital platforms that allow citizens to access various government services online, whether it's paying bills, applying for permits, or filing complaints, any kind of grievances, by incorporating data-driven decision-making processes. Tamil Nadu's administration can make more informed choices, identify trends, and address issues appropriately and proactively. These technological innovations not only improve efficiency but also promote transparency, as citizens can see and track government actions more clearly. In summary, we can say that the post-independence era has seen Tamil Nadu's administration evolve with a strong focus on administrative reforms, decentralization, and technological advancements. These changes have made the state's governance more responsive, inclusive, and effective in meeting the needs of its people. Thanks to these efforts, Tamil Nadu today is recognized as a leader in administrative innovation and citizen-centered governance in India.